Welcome to the Railway Series Book Club, the podcast where we dissect the Railway series. I'm Jamie.
I'm Marina.
I'm Vivian.
And we hope you enjoy the show. Welcome everybody to the Railway Series Book Club podcast. It's a show where we talk about the trains with faces, books they came from, and nothing happened. We're fine.
He and I broke up.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that happened.
I tried stirring tea with a spoon. No, I tried stirring tea with a fork. Use that instead.
Also, I was a poll worker for like 2 weeks, and then during that time, the computer I edited the podcast on broke. So
Basically,
Mari's
a
the
lot
only
of
one
stuff
editing.
happened.
A lot of things happened.
So I'm
it's
gonna
been
be the sole
2
editor,
months.
so prepare for more of me not really putting any flair into it besides occasionally throwing in random anime clips.
I mean, you put in more random anime clips than I do. I feel like that counts as more flair.
No, it's because you do like a lot of like small visual
You gotta
edits.
give it Reddit flair.
Whereas it's like, for me, it's like, here's a clip of the Sailor Moon character saying, fuck off.
I'm still sad that wasn't the actual line.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a pretty obvious edit, but, you know, I
Listen, I'm
wish we
still
lived in the reality
disappointed.
where that was real.
I'm still disappointed that my work here is done, but you didn't do anything isn't real.
You know, I think I remember like seeing like a post
It's real in that
about
it's
like
accurate.
how the author of Sailor Moon is married to the author of Hunter x Hunter, and
You
like
don't say
I'm
the
pretty sure
X.
she said on record that like, you know, her type is like useless men. I feel like that says a lot about why Sailor Moon is the way it is, and why Tuxedo Mask is the way he is. And I haven't even watched Sailor Moon.
I mean, here's the thing, though. In the anime, he's useless. In the manga, literally everything centers around him. Like, there's literally a, like, entire chapter that starts as being about Sailor Jupiter, and then it just turns into Chibi Yusta's future Freddy Cougar horse boyfriend talking about how Tuxedo Mask is the most important person in existence.
I love how we've been gone for like over a month. We come back and we're immediately perfectly on brand by talking about Sailor Moon.
To be fair,
It's like we never left.
I didn't start it this time. Well, I kind of started it, but you know what
Yes
I mean.
and no. Yes and no.
Those are both words.
Yes.
So today we're going to be talking about. Today we're going to be talking about Down the Mine. The pilot. TM.
Why is he playing Minecraft? He shouldn't be playing Minecraft. He has work to do.
So we back in the mine. Got our pickaxe
Gotta
swinging
pick
from
it
side to
from
side.
Side to side.
to side.
Creeper.
Side to
Oh yeah.
Side. Oh man, I bought that on iTunes when I was like 12, like unironically, completely unironically.
Please tell me it's still in your playlist.
That's awesome,
It is-
Andrew.
it's-
That's unironically awesome.
It's probably like still on like my iMac. Yeah. It's not on my phone.
Speaking of names, we haven't introduced ourselves yet. I am Jamie. I am the Queen of Sodor. I forgot the other thing I
the
usually
hostess
say.
with the mostest.
That's right, the host with the mostest. I don't know if I want to say that anymore, just because it's a tongue twister.
I guess now you're the heastest with the leastest.
I'm the Queen of Sodor,
Jamie.
so that'll do. Pronoun she, her.
I'm Marina, your local TV series bitch, and I feel like that's gonna be even more apparent these next 2 episodes.
What are your pronouns?
Oh, she, her.
Okay. I'm Vivian. I'm British. I'm the one who gets all the pictures of the pages because nobody else owns actual copies of these books.
By the way, can you send those?
Hey,
to this
I
one?
own a copy of this book. It's just the bad version.
Yeah, well, no one asked you, Jamie.
Because we're all in the US.
It is like so weird to me that they never actually release like actual books over there. Like it's only the complete collection.
Yeah, it's because Egmont is homophobic.
Yeah.
We also have a friend with us.
What? Wait, did I introduce myself yet?
No,
Did we
no,
introduce
you're the
ourselves,
friend.
Yes, I just did.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm a they them, and my brain has holes in it. Also, I ran out of normal
so out
pills
of
today, so
practice.
I have not been on Earth like at all today. I slept like 4 times.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fucked up.
We are so out of practice.
Oh my
I was
god.
on an episode when I was high on fucking new antidepressants.
Okay, I genuinely don't remember. Was it's probably the drugs, but most of today doesn't feel real. Was that during recording, or was that something else?
That was just when we were talking.
Okay.
And then that was also the time I bought a Hero amiibo because it was shiny, and then
Yeah,
I forgot what I was doing.
I remember that story. Anyway, I remember hearing it. It's funny.
We talked about that back during James.
God,
Back
James was a
during
long
the
time
dark
ago.
That was a
times.
year ago.
That was
Oh,
a year
God.
ago.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure
no.
it's exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not exactly a year ago, but it.
It was around about
No,
this
maybe
time
it's
a year
exactly
ago.
a year ago because we were on break for 2 months.
I don't like that. I don't like that anymore. I don't. This is bad.
Well, let's continue so that maybe by like 2080 we'll be at Stepney.
Maybe. We'll see. So today we're talking about Down the Mine. It's, better known as The Pilot. Well, I say better known. You know, that's mostly like, you know... I'd say that's like level
Fucking
2
nerds.
Thomas knowledge. When they were making the TV series Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, they wanted to make a pilot episode so they can kind of like, you know, test the waters for the model format. So they produced Down the Mine, which makes sense, because it's a story that includes only 2 characters, has a minimal amount of sets, and, you know, is, you know,
They
it's
barely
also just a
move.
pretty nice and memorable story overall, you know?
Yeah.
I guess you could say they were testing the clear water.
Yes. And that was fine, but then they also reshot it to put it in season 1 after the fact, because by the time they had finished doing Down the Mine, they'd already, like, made a bunch of improvements, and were like, hey, now we can't really put this old version of the episode in the normal lineup. We kind of have to reshoot it again.
They still
Or something.
reused
I
a
don't,
lot.
I don't actually know what the full, like... I don't actually
Um,
know what the full story
from-
behind, like, how it all went down. I'm sure someone has it, because, of course they do, but...
Yeah,
Yeah,
trades
nobody
users
knows.
are actually withholding, like, information about the pilot that, like,
Okay,
nobody knows.
obviously that
My
wasn't
sources that I
true.
made it the fuck up.
Obviously
believe that.
that's not true, but, like, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if someone has it. Like,
Yeah.
It's probably
I
just
feel
on a
like-
reel somewhere in, like, Kid Entertainment archives.
no, I
I
mean,
guess it's Metallic Caves now.
I mean, like, in the fandom, because it's like, if it still exists, then it's like, I feel like it's way more likely that someone would get that than, like, the work print director's cut we got. Because, like, that has, like, a whole bunch of legal red tape surrounding it, because it's like, even Mattel now, I think, doesn't have full ownership of that movie, whereas it's like, if it's in their archives, I feel like someone's had to have gotten it through some connection at this point. This isn't me going like, oh, like, people are hoarding stuff, even though people do. Or, like, oh, trains users have it, go harass people. But it's like, I'd be
Don't harass
surprised if
people.
it's not out there in some form.
Yeah.
Don't harass people. Don't harass anyone.
Unless they're racist.
I was gonna say this, but, like, I know recently people have, like, really started looking at, like, the shots in the episode and stuff, and, like, determining what was probably pilot footage,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And, like,
A lot of shots of the Fat Controller.
yeah, it's, like, the Fat Controller, like, a lot of close-ups.
You know, looking at, like, the sky backdrop and, like, what the large-scale Thomas Bottles cab looks like.
Yeah, and there's, like, one scene where, like, the board changes, and, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It switches from board to point.
Yeah.
There's one shot I noticed where, Annie and Clarabelle's names are just missing, and it's like,
What? Where is that? I didn't notice that.
there's a picture on the wiki, it's when he's pulling in, Knapford, I think?
Oh, like when he drops them off.
Yeah. And, like, when he leaves, we know that's the pilot model, so I don't know if, like, they reshot it really early on, and, like, the Annie and Clarabelle weren't finished, or if...
Maybe they just
was-
didn't have their names on that side. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
they,
it's-
like...
See, the thing is, that would make sense considering how -12 the budget of season 1 was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still love the thing of, like, we don't have enough money to make to fully paint shit, so we'll just paint everything on one side and hope to God no one realizes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I love the half and half tanker.
Yeah. I feel like, you know... I do like Down the Mine in its Season 1 form, but... I can't remember if I mentioned this in the other episodes, because that was 2 months ago. But, I feel like doing Off the Rails and Down the Mine this season, at least from a pacing perspective, was kind of a bad move, because, like...
Really?
The way it's presented here in these episodes is, like... This and Off the Rails are functionally the last 2 episodes of the season, and they, the entire, like, Gordon plotline is left unresolved until they do Paint Pots and Queens in Season 4. Which is, you know, weird. But at the same time, like, as much as I really wish they hadn't done... Well, I say really wish. As much as it kind of bothers me that they did it, I do like this episode that we got, because, you know, it's interesting to kind of see, like, even in the finished episode, you can tell it's, like, kind of piloty, because, like, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of the shots are kind of, like, static, and there's a lot of, like, music cues that feel a bit, like, you know, weird and early. Like, you know, the Gordon theme when he's going to the rescue, or, like, you know, the scene of the music cue when Gordon helps Thomas. It's like, you know, it's neat. And the sole reason I will defend this episode being in Season 1, not that I think that's a position anyone should need to take.
Yeah.
That's like a very deep level take to need to make, is the very end shot where they're, like, looking out the entrance of a mine at Thompson.
that's a
and
really
Gordon
good shot.
puffing
That
away.
is one of my favorite
Yeah,
shots
that's a
of
really
the
good
show.
shot. That shot, like, single-handedly inspired me to, like, you know, film things with trains. So,
Aw.
it's really good. I like this story. You know, I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest, but, you know, it's got interesting history behind it, and it's just, you know, kind of fun.
Yeah.
I didn't notice until watching it for this, but with the shot where it's like Gordon coming to help, he's on the set with Mrs. Kindly's cottage.
Oh, is he?
Kind of.
Yeah.
He's probably on, like, the other
Hmm,
side of it,
pull up
but,
the
like,
gallery.
they definitely redressed it a little.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's like the long straight with the curve that's next to Terrence's field, and then I think you can see it, like, a cottage at least.
Yeah.
Which is probably
Probably-
reusing the Mrs. Kindly's cottage set.
It's definitely,
piece.
like, it's definitely reusing the same, like, model of cottage.
Yeah.
But,
this is kind of a random thing, but I'm somewhat surprised they didn't do Paint Pots and Queens as the season 2 premiere, because Off the
That would make
Rails
sense,
and
actually.
Down the Mine actually
Yeah, it
aired
would.
after Christmas Party, because like that aired on Christmas 1984, obviously, and they aired
Literally 1984.
literally.
yeah, and they aired in 2 weeks later in 1985. So, like, yeah, I wonder if that was ever considered at any point, because
That's interesting. I feel like I think maybe the reason they didn't is because, like, maybe they thought having the continuity hooking between seasons 1 and 2 like that would make it, like, weird for a first-time viewer.
yeah,
Because, like, season 2 is when they started kind of, like... I feel like season 2 is kind of when they started shaving off some of the continuity hooks between stories. At least, maybe not intentionally, but, like, when they started, like... At least when they started, like, inserting the Chris stories between arcs.
Yeah.
That
don't
would
know.
make sense, considering, like, even if you were, like, an avid fan of the first season, that was still 2 years of, like, gap. So, like
Yeah.
a year or two between, like, arcs in, like, shows for slightly older kids, that makes sense. But, like,
I guess
when you're aiming for, like, 5 to 7-year-olds, it's a little bit too long to expect them to remember.
part of
Yeah.
what I was thinking was because I was thinking about it from the angle of when they actually end up doing Paint Pots and Queens, they open it with like Thomas and Gordon kind of reflecting on
Yeah.
like what they had done.
Oh,
but,
like,
Also, it's
like,
like a
like the
recap.
Series 4 episode.
yeah, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thinking back, they probably like I don't even know if they would have been allowed to do something like that because like season 2 is still like relatively like close to the books, whereas I don't think they were at the point of adding like full new scenes yet.
See, that's a very good point, but I also feel like if they came to Wilbur and were like, hey, it's been like 2 to 3 years since the first season, can we add a scene to this story to kind of refresh people on what happened so that this makes sense? I feel like he would have been, like, at least somewhat receptive to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also did... I wasn't going to cite that specifically, but I think... They do add, like, the scene at the beginning of Safe from Scrap to kind of add some context to that. Which, I'm guessing Audrey had to approve of. So...
Yeah.
I feel like they could have gotten
Backyard
away with,
today.
like, the continuity hook at the beginning.
I do like that scene.
But yeah, I think that's a good idea, Mari.
Yeah.
I actually quite like that scene, like, that idea, too. That would be, like, a really good way of, like, leading into a season 2 in, like, a hypothetical redone early seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shame about Leaves, though. I guess Leaves gets... I mean, I guess you could do Trouble with Mud in that case. If you keep season 3 the same.
It's the
I still
easiest
don't
one
like
to
Trouble with
move.
Mud.
Trouble with Mud still
Yeah.
sucks.
That episode came out
I'm
last
a
?
famous
week?
machine.
I don't know. Oh fuck, actually this episode's about to come out in 4 minutes. I should probably, like,
It's gonna be out in 4 minutes.
Now you know exactly when we're recording.
Yeah, isn't that
Hooray!
fun?
This is the first time ever we've recorded an episode while the other episode is, like, literally going out.
God,
I've been
that's
recording
just
for
great.
20 minutes. I feel like we should start the story.
Yeah,
same
let's
here.
start the
This is
story.
a good point.
Down the mine. One day, Thomas was at the junction when Gordon shuffled in with some trucks. Phew! Remarked Thomas. What a funny smell. Can you smell a smell? I can't smell a smell, said Annie and Clarabelle. A funny, musty sort of smell, said Thomas. No one noticed it until you did, grunted Gordon. It must be yours. Annie, Clarabelle, do you know what I think it is? Whispered Thomas loudly. It's ditch water.
Right off the bat, I do really like the just like the writing of this page. It's fun.
Yeah.
It is really nice.
Yeah.
It's just a good introduction. Like,
I like whispered Thomas loudly.
yeah, that's so good.
Fucking good.
I feel like this whole story kind of like perfectly exemplifies how Thomas is basically carrying the entire series at this point, because like the first his like obviously he got 2 books already. The
Nobody
scenes
else
with
has had
him, the one scene with him in James has more personality than the entirety of the rest of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even like in small appearances in Tramway Engine, or not Tramway Engines, Troublesome Engines, he makes an impression and he's still there. Henry is like the worst book, and I think it's the one so far where he hasn't really appeared. And
Yeah, I don't think he speaks in Henry, does he?
I don't think so. And then
No, he does.
He plays an
in
important
Cole.
part in this.
He speaks
He
in
plays
Cole.
Oh, okay.
He plays an important part in Toby's too, and it's like they kind of tone it down a bit after this, but like it's still very much like his show, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah. My
Like
sister brought me a chocolate muffin.
Aw.
Oh, hooray!
Yeah,
Chocolate muffins are nice.
that's not a bad thing. He's kind of by far the best character at this early point.
Yeah,
we
a
were
little bit.
talking
He's
about it a
definitely got
bit.
the most going on.
We were talking
Yeah.
about it a bit before we started recording, but it's like there's a reason that even before the show started, all of the news articles were calling it the Thomas the Tank Engine books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you can see Thomas's smoke going backwards here.
Yeah.
Like, this confused me
Yeah.
for a long time
He's going
until
really fast.
I finally
He's
until I
Newman.
finally had it, like, you know, realized that, oh right, it's supposed to be a push-pull thing. So he's taking his train backwards.
Yeah.
Going backwards.
Yeah.
He's
You could
busy
say
going
he-
backwards.
Fuck
So
you.
to
You
speak.
Because
took
as
my
we
pun.
learn in tenders and turntables, tank engines go backwards as well as forwards.
Yeah.
He's
I-
especially
I- I
flexing on Gordon because he's going fast backwards, which he cannot do as a tender engine.
Yeah.
He's
This is literally Thomas just being like, "Fuck you, bitch," and then leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, you little slut. Dies!
I mean, I think it is very much like the last story where, you know, Gordon is at his lowest point, you know, in terms of respectability right now, and Thomas is fucking reveling in that because Gordon has always been, you know, just
yeah.
so Gordon to him. And now the shoe's on the other foot, you know?
I think bringing
Trains don't
in
have feet, Jamie.
Thomas, like bringing
Yes!
in Thomas for this, like, it kind of ends up pointless because like there's literally one scene he's in the next story, but like, it really is the best idea for something like this because like
Yeah.
he's introduced as like Gordon is basically the highest of the highs. Like in a way,
Yeah.
he's kind of like where Thomas wants to be. Whereas now it's like Thomas is like perfectly happy, and like Gordon's like the lowest he's ever been. So it's like, of course he's gonna rub it in. But then like he's
Gordon
also
is-
an idiot, so it takes him like literally an hour to end up in the exact same position.
Yeah.
Thomas is, I guess you could say, Gordon is, I guess you could say, the king of the railway.
This
Sure, I guess.
This story, I'm 90% sure this story inspired All Engines Go scaling.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
look at
gonna
Thomas
say,
compared to Gordon here
Yeah,
and in the last image.
and even then
Why is the
they're both
canopy so
fucking
tall?
tiny. Yeah, the canopy is massive, and the station building is just plonked there. There's no, like... There's no fucking, like, platform there or, like, anything. It's just a building that's just, like, slapped onto, like, the bushes. What the fuck is this shit?
Like, this doesn't look like any junction we've seen before, because it's like, why is there only one track on the main line? Where the fuck is Thomas?
They're on the loop.
Oh god.
Wait, actually, yeah, now that I'm looking at it, Gordon's on the branch line part of the line, and Thomas is on, like, the main line. What the fuck? Dalby!
Pulling the local.
I guess they...
Oh, you know what? That's true. That means everything's okay.
I guess they wanted
Hooray!
Thomas to be in the foreground, because if he wasn't with this scaling, you wouldn't fucking be able to see him.
Well, they could have just replicated the... They could have just replicated the angle from, fucking the first illustration of Dirty Objects.
Or, like, fucking...
I mean, yeah, but that'd be less fun.
That is true.
I will say, 'cause, like, I already said the writing's good, but I fucking love the thing of, oh, no one noticed it till you did, it must be yours. I think that's a very fun Gordon line.
Whoever smelt it,
It is very much a more dignified way of saying whoever smelt it dealt it.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my god.
Well, little Thomas, you see, whoever smelt it, dealt it.
The story is
Whoever
really the
smelled
most
it,
Annie
dealt
and Clarabelle ever do until, like, season 5 of the TV series, and that's being generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it feels like they do more in the Johnny Morris narration, even though they don't really have any more lines. Because it's like, I guess like they say like a bit more in like the 2 lines they have, so it feels like they're a more substantial part of the story.
Yeah. It's just... It's kind of a shame. I never realized how much of a hive mind they were until, like, Blue Mountain Mystery.
I feel like they only really started getting, like, unique personality traits from each other in, like, The Great Race onwards.
I don't even mean, like, different personalities. I just mean that, like, literally every time they talk, it's at the exact same time.
Oh, yeah, true,
Like-
true.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking, like, G1 whatever the fuck, where they're, like, literally on the same, like, brainwave or something.
Okay,
God.
I will say, though, making Clarabelle insanely eccentric and Annie the straight man was a very good choice, and I wish we saw more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
You
yeah.
left us in the middle of nowhere. We were at
In Marin.
The middle of nowhere!
Nowhere!
Also, the I Spy scene in Railcar on the Coaches is very good.
It's just snow.
Oh, wow.
It's all
Right?
But I was wondering if they actually speak and go, and, like, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Kinda
I
surprising me.
actually
That's
quite
cool.
like their voices in Go, actually.
Yeah, they
I
have
like-
pretty good voices.
I like that
I also
Clarabelle
like that
has
they gave
freckles.
Clarabelle freckles.
Yeah.
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 Freckles. I think
yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
choice.
That is a very good choice. I
Oh.
think that's the I think that's the only thing I like about it. Probably.
Yeah. That is the only good design change, I think.
I don't mind
I'm
the
not a
little
fan of
pattern
the,
they
like,
have.
how they... I mean, the pattern they have on their sides is, like, neat, but it's
pretty dope.
definitely only there because they don't want to have to, like, localize English text into other
Yeah.
regions.
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely.
See, I totally respect why they did that, but, like, I don't like it, just as, like,
Oh my god.
like a change is bad thing.
I don't know why, but I still find it really funny. Just the images of, like, them with the truck in the middle when they're watching the race in the movie.
Why are they separated? They are a pair. Do not separate.
because truck who
Wait,
wants
no,
to
it's
kill.
engagement. It's engagement.
Yeah, it's
from
truck who wants to kill.
Kill.
We're excellent bakers and excellent wankers.
Gordon snorted. Before he could answer, Thomas puffed quickly away. Anya and Clarabelle could hardly believe their ears. He's dreadfully rude. I feel quite ashamed. I feel quite ashamed. He's dreadfully rude, they twittered to each other. You mustn't be rude. You make us ashamed. You mustn't be rude. You make us ashamed, they kept telling Thomas. But Thomas didn't care a bit. That was funny, he chuckled. He felt very pleased with himself. Annie and Clarabelle were deeply shocked. They had a great respect for Gordon the Big Engine.
It's
Hey,
the intro
that's
bridge.
the name of the book.
Yeah, it's the name of the book, and this is the one shot from the opening.
This is the intro
Like,
bridge.
Thomas is going
Yeah, it's the
so
intro
fucking
bridge, it's the intro
fast.
signal box.
He's
Yeah.
human.
It's got the guy with the bike.
Guy, that's just a kid.
You're just a kid.
How dare you? You don't... Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just a kid.
Wait, who says that?
I do
Who says
like-
that? 'Cause I remember that quote.
It's Bertram in
Oh, yeah.
Sodor's Long Forgotten Secret.
Yeah,
Where he tries to murder fucking.
I rewatched that recently. It's it's a saga.
I think you can tell it's his first special.
I do like Annie and Clarabelle's energy here of just being like, bro, if you're gonna say embarrassing shit in the replies, don't tag us.
Yeah. Yeah!
Thomas, if you're
with, like-
going to get ratioed, please untag me.
Me too!
Oh god. I do kind of wish they did something with like them having a lot of respect for Gordon, because I feel like that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the most that was done with that is like David Mitten interpreting that as Annie looked flirtatiously at Gordon. And then, when one of our friends pointed out that, hey, that was sexist and dumb, they got ratioed by a Twitter user who is no longer with us.
No, you see.
And had to be private for months.
Yeah.
And I hope that the guy... I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to incite drama, but I hope that guy decomposes.
No, you
Also
s-
because, he was also racist, but, he
Yeah.
also, did that to our friend.
You-
and
you-
I'm petty and angry.
Yeah, I'm not gonna forgive how immature that was.
you can't
Everybody
ever...
go watch Railway of Nowhere to support that friend. They're very good and we love them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our friend Chara is very wonderful.
You aren't allowed to bash David Mitten. He was an amazing man who was forced to deal with the evil Brit Allacroft and did nothing wrong.
God. I like Tugs. I like David Mitten's model work. Like, he's not a god. He made mistakes. And I feel like we should be able to admit that without getting ratioed by dude bros on Twitter.
Yeah. I think idolizing people in general is just not good.
Yeah.
What about Godry?
Canceling
No
you on
comment.
Twitter.com for bringing that up. I'm canceling you on
comment.
Twitter.com for bringing that up.
God. I'm embarrassed that became a thing. Gaudry specifically.
Can't wait for History of the Other Railway episode 4.
Do people ever use that unironically, or...
I
hope
think
not.
maybe some people did unironically in like the early 2010s, but now
I think people still
everyone's
say it.
over it.
I'm pretty sure people still say it. I think that there's people out there who still say, "Oh my Godry," and like
Oh, there are people who say, "Oh my Gaudry," definitely.
Yeah, I just either way, it makes me want to return to the earth.
Yeah,
It makes
a
me
little bit.
feel quite bad.
So true, bestie.
I'm eating a muffin.
What? I swear I had something interesting to say about this page, but I guess all I had to say was the reply thing. So
Yeah.
That's basically all that happens here.
yeah. Next, we can move on.
Thomas is still push-pull, and I think that's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still going backwards.
He's still going really fast.
He's just a funny little guy.
Also, he's wrong roading, I think. Oh no, he's not.
I
He's not.
think he is. Or wait. No, yeah, you're
He
yeah, he's
changed
not wrong
tracks.
roading. I'm
Yeah.
just American.
Yeah. He is in the
God.
last illustration, but that's okay because he's at like a station. But
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
God, why are there 2 lines on the branch line? That's not how they're supposed to be. That's a goof.
Goof.
Probably just like a passing loop or something.
Goof. I
I
get
know,
no bitches.
I'm making a joke about people getting pissed about the Brenner era. Or Arc era.
There's... I feel like it's something not exclusive to the Brenner era. It's just about, CGI set design in general.
Yeah.
I know why it's like that, because, they want to have characters be able to talk to each other on any set. But,
See,
still
I think
a bit
I don't
silly.
like it because I like Thomas's branch line being very rural, and it having 2 tracks makes it feel too built up.
Yeah.
Well, it's to let Percy and Toby go by, as well.
The
It's like Percy
vibes
and Toby
are
were
off.
invited.
I feel like... I think I'm okay... I'm kind of okay with Farquhar and Brendam being double track. I'm less okay with the Little Western being double tracked.
Yeah.
Ironically, the Little Western is like one I'm more okay with being double tracked. It's like I'm fine with Brendam and the Little Western, but I'm not really okay with Thomas.
Thomas's branch is a lot more backwater, I think, than the other 2.
Do we even see
I forgot...
the Little Western besides the,
Yeah, we do.
Arlesdale Harbor?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we see.
I think Bluffs Cove technically is part of that.
Bluffs
We see,
Cove. You see a
Now
lot
that
of it in the
I'm
Missing
thinking
Breakdown
about it.
train.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think a lot of the, excess number of roads on sets is, a bit to do with, the model era set design more than, the CG era set design.
Oh yeah, no, because every single set.
I mean,
in the
CG era
later model
continued it
was,
to an
free-
extent,
was,
but,
free tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then every single time you go past that one, point piece that they stuck in because they ran out of straight pieces.
Yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it more, there is also an extent to which, them ripping the design straight from Dolby might also have something to do with it.
This runs deep.
Everything is
fucking
built
deep.
on top of everything.
I want to dismantle goddamn everything.
This is dumb, but I thought all of those Little Western stuff in the CGI series were just on the main line.
That's fair. I
Oh,
feel like
track
the
layout.
even
There's not much actual way to differentiate what sets on what.
yeah, a lot of the CG sets are basically just lines running through nothing, with the
Yeah.
exception of the occasional station.
Yeah.
See, in my
Well, I
mind,
say
the Little
occasional
Western
station. There are lots of
is-
stations, but everything between the stations, I couldn't fucking tell you what goes where.
In my mind, the Little Western is very much how it is in the model series, where it's always running along the beach and it goes through the arches.
Yeah.
I wish it looked more like that in the CGI series. I think that would have been really nice.
Yeah.
They should have brought the arch back. The arch was good.
The arch was very cool. Thomas left the coaches at a station and went to a mine for some trucks. Long ago, miners digging for lead had made tunnels under the ground. Though strong enough to hold up trucks, their roofs could not bear the weight of engines. A large notice said, "Danger! Engines must not pass this board!" Thomas had often been warned, but he didn't care. Silly old board, he thought. He'd often tried to pass it, but had never succeeded. This morning he laughed as he puffed along, for he had made a plan.
I like this illustration. It's cute.
Yeah, it's fun.
Where the fuck is this?
Fucked if I know.
Hell's
Yeah,
Bridge.
I maybe this is the mysterious station between Knapford and Tidmouth.
Holy fuck! This is the loop line. Thomas is on the loop line.
Oh my god, it all fits! It all
To be
fits!
honest, all of these look the same to me. I don't know why. I can just never get, spatial awareness of what
I mean-
places are.
Okay,
I
so,
feel like at this point, that's fair. I don't blame you, Mari, because, to be fair, a lot of these stations do look the same at this point.
basically all you
Dalby
need to
moment.
know is just this is way too big for it to be Farquhar, which is logically where Thomas would have been taking Annie and Clarabelle.
Yeah. I suppose.
Also, why the fuck is James
I like James
here?
in the
Who
background.
invited him?
Is it supposed to be?
James-
I mean,
does look
honestly,
on the
James
ground
does look pretty nice here. It's a very nice James.
Yeah. It's a solid James.
You know, I like the little boys waving at Thomas.
Why
Yeah,
is
like
the
that's
second
so
truck
the
so
show.
long?
Fuck if I know.
You see how long the
He's-
second truck is? Why is it so long?
He's so Thomas is so
Oh,
squashed. He looks like an adventurers.
He's very
Oh my god, he
squished.
does look like an Adventures. That's fucked up. I hate that I noticed that now. God damn it.
You're welcome.
Well, at least he has a
Uh,
dome.
They did,
He's
I
got
think.
no dome.
Oh yeah,
Don't
they did?
trust
Okay.
domeless
Yeah, it was
engines.
No
wood, I
dome?
think, that didn't do the dome.
Oh, right, okay, that makes sense.
Adventures barely has domes.
Yeah. No dome!
Yeah, because they squashed down everything else.
No
you know,
dome.
I do like that, I really like the narration about, like, you know, long ago, like the whole long ago shit about the lead mine. I really loved that narration as a kid when I watched the episode.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that it sounded cool and mysterious, you know?
It's well
Especially
delivered.
paired with the visuals.
Yeah.
I didn't
How,
know what
like,
the
you know,
fuck
the lead
lead
mine set
was.
that we only saw once and never again.
It's
I
that
only knew
stuff in-
lead as, like, thing in pencil.
It's the stuff
Yeah,
in
me
the
too.
wooden trades that taste really good.
Mari eats lead-painted James and other stories.
Should I remove that? Because
No, keep it in. It's funny.
If you
I don't-
want
I
to,
don't
then
think-
do it.
I don't think anybody's gonna unironically assume that you ate lead, Mari.
No, I know. I just mean that that's kind of a horrible joke.
No, it's funny.
Well,
Keep it in.
we've not made worse.
I mean, yeah, true.
Yeah. Keep it in.
I noticed when Thomas first gets to the mine, the truck that he bumps into has a lowered running board like Annie, so that he can actually hit the buffers.
Yeah.
Oh, I never noticed that. That's cool.
It's like, I didn't notice it until like just recently. Also, the M-Wagon is in this episode.
Yeah, fuck
it
yeah,
is.
M-Wagon.
Annie and Clarabelle don't have names in this scene. Like, their names on the side are just missing.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Did we talk about that earlier?
I think so.
We
I
did.
think you mentioned
Was it
it.
before
Oh,
we were
fuck.
recording, or was it after we'd
I
started?
It might have been.
I don't
It was like at the
remember.
beginning of the episode before we actually like started talking about the story.
Oh.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Speak.
I also really like how Thomas is, you know, not to like, you know, be quoting another meme or anything, but Thomas, you know, being like, "Huh, I wonder who this is for," when he sees the sign.
Yeah.
I love him just having an incredible hatred for a piece of, like, wood.
I also love the
Those
character.
Those words
design.
can't stop me because I can't read.
See,
also
also,
love-
Percy takes the plunge.
Yeah.
Okay, I genuinely love that Thomas doesn't learn, hey, this sign means that you're gonna get hurt. It means you're gonna fall down something. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
fucking dumb.
I
I
He's
love
technically right.
that.
That's one of my
continuity
favorite things.
thing. that is very good.
Every time there's a danger sign in the Railway series, an engine falls down something. 16 falls off the, like, track and rolls over, and then,
Ass over cab.
Percy falls in the water. You could say that he's fallen in the water.
He's fallen in the water.
Yes.
You mustn't go past it. That's orders. Why?
Why?
Danger means falling down something. I love the engine's almost there, but simultaneous complete failure at understanding words.
It's so galaxy brained. I love it.
The
Do
writing in these books is so charming. I love it so much.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the original Barry the Bastard Engine video
I
where
do.
it's like Arse over cab, but then like he
What's
talks
he
to
doing
like
in my car?
yeah, it's like Tupac or something.
What
do you think I'll do
doing
in my quarry?
Why are you even here? I don't know.
It's like Tupac haunting the quarry.
Didn't the second episode of the reboot of that involve him joining like a racism cult?
Yeah, they end up at Steam supremacy rally, and like, he like gets out. He's just like to the Diesel, like, "Hey, I don't hate you. You're still a nom."
Kind of miffed that he got to that idea before me, because that would have made a hell of a Somewhere in England episode.
Fucking Arseface is one of the members.
When is Arseface gonna be in Somewhere in England?
Saved from.
Oh, no,
I need
Kirby.
to. I don't know. I
Kirby's
need
there.
to talk to the guy. Yeah, Kirby's there. Kirby's there. There's no need.
We need another engine from crap.
What? What?
Yeah, the original third episode that introduced Arseface was called Saved from Crap. And that's why the character introduced is Arseface.
That's actually
Get
beautiful.
a new engine from crap.
We are all children.
You are. I haven't said anything.
Yeah, well, no one asked for your opinion anyway, Jamie. Shut up.
Those videos are probably like horribly offensive at this point. Like,
Yeah,
like,
there's definitely a
like,
reason he took him down.
there's probably I don't remember anything in them.
You
But
gotta get
like,
him up on the archive, Murray.
I want to.
He had to push empty trucks into one siding and pull out full ones from another. His driver stopped him, and the fireman went to turn the points. "Come on," waved the fireman, and they started. The driver leaned out of the cab to see where they were going. "Now," said Thomas to himself, and, bumping the trucks fiercely, he jerked his driver off. "What, dude?"
You're the worst. You're the worst.
Right.
You're never coming back on after this book. You're banned. You're banned
Cool.
for that joke.
Thanks, everybody.
We're gonna rebuild the Thomas Vault just because of that.
"Now," said Thomas to himself, and bumping the trucks fiercely, he jerked his driver off the footplate. "Hurrah!" laughed Thomas, and he followed the trucks into the siding. "Stupid old board," said Thomas as he passed it.
What a stupid fucking dumbass train.
Yeah.
I forgot
Bozo.
that he doesn't get like the like trucks involved. Like I thought
That's
it was like
that's Percy's thing.
you know it's
Yeah.
I thought he also did that here. I had forgotten.
Interesting to note that on this illustration, the backlining goes all the way up to the top of the bunker, whereas in the show it only goes about halfway. That's a little interesting thing I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it lines up with the lining on the tanks.
I kind of
And his
prefer it
bunker
only
is,
being
like, really
halfway,
tall for
honestly. It
some
looks a little
reason.
bit nicer.
I don't have any preference. If
Is
it
it
lines
Murray?
up
You
with
saying
the
something?
lining on the cab, then yeah, it's fine.
I like kind of the image of like the driver and fireman just kind of like desperately trying to stop him doing something incredibly stupid.
No, see, that's the thing. That's why he has a driver and fireman. No, nobody else does. It's just Thomas because nobody can trust him to be on his own.
So it's stories of
I feel like
Sodar
that's just
logic
what-
where the driver and fireman are there to keep the like engines from doing stupid stuff, I think.
When is
Yeah,
Thomas going to
that-
request
Thomas
the
was
final
put in
firing?
prison for 12 weeks following a violation of warning, whatever.
Has he done
Ahoy,
an
Bill and
episode
Ben.
that's down the mine where he like gets like arrested for it?
I think he
Holy
had Thomas
Bill and
fall
Ben.
down a mine in one of the early episodes, but it was just kind of like a thing
By the
that
way, this
happened and they
happened.
moved on.
Yeah.
Like, that's also what he did with Percy's not Percy's predicament. Percy's,
I think it was in
Percy's promise. Where, like, Percy goes in the water, and it's like, Diesel's like, haha, you're in the water. Instead of, like, you know, Percy actually getting to do anything interesting.
Yeah.
Because why would
sounds
you
like
give
a
the characters
Stories of
agency?
Soda episode.
Why
Why would
would
any
you give
of the
characters agency or good writing?
Question
God.
time. Rather, no,
What's
I
the
liked.
Topham Hat?
I liked the fucking I haven't seen it, but I like how his newest like short whatever is like about racism or whatever. And the question's like, who's the biggest racist you know? I'm
Oh
like,
my
wow.
god, is it?
I don't know if it actually is.
Why does he put...
I don't know if it actually is.
Who's the-
Like that's
Wait,
all.
no, wait. Everybody,
I would pull it up, but I don't want to give him the views.
Everybody go and comment, like, the answer Victor Tanz.
Yeah!
Oh my god, my YouTube homepage is all Germa clips and fucking VTuber stuff. I'm in hell. My brain's like full of holes.
Hi, welcome. Mine is recommending me VTuber shit, Thomas shit, and a game about fucking the D4 DJ intro, and a video about the Cars video game. They know me well.
Thank you to the person in the Discord who just brought up the part in Leaves where I talk about how Gordon shits on James's face. Thank you to that person. I hope you're having a good day.
They used the Cars gift too. Tom, you're amazing.
You're getting a shout out.
Anyway,
Should we go to the next page? I don't think we have...
yes.
I think we've exhausted the amount of things to say.
Yes.
I said it last page, but the truck that has the lower down buffer beam for Thomas is funky, and I hope that truck still exists.
Yeah.
I think it does. Maybe not the exact
Did
one,
you-
but there is a truck from Series 1 that was at the Butterly event recently.
Oh,
cool.
And it's got the lower buffer beam. Yep, okay, it genuinely is who's the biggest racist you know. It genuinely fucking is who's the biggest racist you know.
Please,
This is goddamn amazing.
Go comment Victor Tanzig, everyone. Go comment the name Victor Tanzig. This is a joke.
I don't think we should be. I don't think we
No,
should be telling our audience to watch Victor Tanzig videos.
Yeah, I don't
think
think
it'll
we
be
should.
toxic
I don't
for
think
their health.
I don't think that's. Yeah, I agree with Jamie. I don't think that's the call we should be making.
For legal
Hey,
Because that would
watching
mean
it
subjecting them to
anyway.
stories of Sodor.
If you feel inclined to do such, we won't stop you.
But also, don't blame us if everyone gives you shit for it.
Yeah.
I
Don't be a
will
rat.
feel no guilt.
Neither will I. Stupid old board, said Thomas as he passed it. There's no danger. There's no danger. His driver, unhurt, jumped up. Look out! He shouted. The fireman clambered into the cab. Thomas squealed crossly as his brakes were applied. It's quite safe, he hissed. Come back, yelled the driver, but before they could move there was rumbling and the rails quivered. The fireman jumped clear. As he did so, the ballast slipped away and the rails sagged and broke. Fire and smoke, cried Thomas. I'm sunk! And he was.
I love the visual of the fireman just being like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck,
I
fuck.
love that.
Nah, fuck it.
I also love Thomas's just fucking gaping maw here.
It's as far as
It's
the
his
O-face.
O-face.
I got this page confused with the last one when I said I like love the visual of them like stumbling to try and stop him from doing something stupid. I like him being like, oh, it's perfectly safe, immediately dies.
Yeah.
That is so in character
Yeah.
for him, though.
That absolutely is, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's quite
To
safe.
nobody's surprise. To nobody's surprise, Thomas eats shit when he does something he's explicitly told not to do.
Okay, so,
This has to have been the template for, like, every single, like, you know, Thomas does does something bad, despite being told not to story.
He's
Yeah.
a little kid being told not to push the big red button. He's gonna
Okay,
push
so this
the
is
button.
this is a thing that's confused me ever since I was a kid. If the engines can't go past the board, how did they get the trucks?
He
like,
pushed them.
did-
I guess they had a guy push them.
Yeah, it's possible to hand push wagons, or like they'd probably just get like a shit little really light, like probably petrol driven engine or something.
You think maybe one of the coffee pots ended up here?
Maybe a rail
they
tractor
still-
even.
This is where Glenn was.
It's Wurzel the rail tractor from Beanie the Bagnall.
Not even that.
Aw.
The WCMP's shed. Oh my god, wait! Oh! Yes, this means I can put it on Sodor.
And we've given Andrew too much power.
We're gonna take over
So
the
the
world
incident
now.
the story is based on, I would have said this was the beginning, but there were a lot of other things happening, and my
We're
brain
out
didn't
of
work.
practice.
So the incident the story is based on took place at Lindeland Furnace in 1982. And this event,
1982?
or 1892, not 1982. That'd be an
Literally
entirely different time
1982.
frame.
Audrey could see the
1892.
future, and he only used it to come up with story ideas.
So in this version of event, in the actual incident, the collapsing mine hole was so deep that, all that was discovered of the furnace railway engine that fell into it, engine number 115, was the tender.
Yeah.
I know they
It's,
tried to get it out.
A little
but
bit
then
terrifying.
It's like
Yeah,
they
fucking
got
died,
a crane to try
right?
and get it out, but then it fell even further in, so they just
Yeah.
couldn't even reach it.
Because the
Yeah.
land was so, like, loose.
It's like it
Those
fell into a
fucking
mine.
died.
They got a crane to get it out, and then it fell into a second mine beneath the first mine, and then they were just like, well,
Well, that's fucked it. So I think they just filled the hole.
yeah, they
Yeah.
did. They just filled it with dirt and left it.
It's really creepy to think about.
Yeah.
It's
Technically,
like,
it's
from what I know,
preserved. Technically, the engine is preserved.
Technically.
technically,
I wonder
yeah.
if someday someone will be digging through the earth and just find that engine.
Fucking,
That
we
would
got.
be so fucking funny.
We gotta
It'll
get
be
the,
like the cult.
Yeah.
It'll be like the cult from Sudrian Conflict when they find Bertram.
we gotta.
Sure.
We gotta do a like train fandom version of the fucking like dig for the Atari landfill, but it's just digging for this giant fucking locomotive, like probably like thousands of feet underground. Not thousands.
I think it
you
was
know what I
like-
mean.
I don't think it was that far. It was just like the crane couldn't reach it, and they needed to like fill the hole eventually because it was
Yeah,
blocking
'cause it was
like
pretty much
five
blocking the
separate
main line.
lines.
It was also 1892.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Thomas is like very, very lucky that like the mine shafts weren't all that deep in the ground.
Yeah.
I'm also really glad that Lost Treasure and the pack episode from season 23 about Max and Monty exists, because they like kind of take the same concept of like, of down the mine, but like bring it back to be like, kind of terrifying like the original incident was.
Yeah.
The scene in
Like-
Lost Treasure is so fucking extra.
Yeah, it
honestly, I
is.
feel like the scene in Lost Treasure shows what the book tells better than the TV version of Down the Mine. Like,
Really? I feel like
I
the
think
TV
so.
version. I mean, the TV version is definitely closer to the illustrations.
It
but,
definitely
like,
is, but like the feeling of like what is described in the text, I feel like is portrayed a little bit better in Lost Treasure, even though that's like a completely different like thing. Like
Yeah, I
Yeah,
I can see that. It's just
the rails
it
sagging,
is-
breaking.
Yeah.
Thomas's crew just straight up jumping out. And
Yeah,
what a fucking
I-
jump it is.
They left
It
him
is.
to
It is
die.
pretty like. It's pretty horrifying just kind of looking at it, and it's suspenseful. You know, it also does like the weird shit with like the flatbed of rails. That's also a fun set piece.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like genuinely.
Yeah.
It's really like creative.
Yeah.
I like
And
him.
then they reused that set as the lead mine in Deep Trouble, which is an episode I really like. Nobody really talks about Deep Trouble when it comes to the Michael White Wubba episodes, but
That's fun.
it's personally one of my favorites, just because
I like when
I like the
Max
down the line
falls into
callback.
Australia.
yeah, that's a very good way of
Good eye,
utilizing
mate.
the international cast. It does a good job of utilizing the new toy Darcy. You know, it's just really cool.
That's
You
the
know?
only episode I've ever seen with Shane in it, I'm pretty sure, and it's just like
Wait, why is
Max.
Shane there?
Because the fantasy
Because in
sequence
the imagination sequence
is Max falling all the way down to Australia, and he just like pops out, and Shane's just sitting there. And he's just like, good eye. And that's it, that's the scene.
Okay, that's actually a pretty funny bit though.
That is.
It
pretty good.
is. I also really like the not as much, but I do like the episode Michael White wrote about Brenda. It single-handedly gave Brenda more character than Byron ever had.
Byron.
Should have been
Byron.
Byron, though.
Byron.
I do love how
Oh,
Michelangelo
those
says
episodes are
Byron's
good.
name so much.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
I
Byron.
feel like people hate the season 23 pack episodes entirely because of the new machine one, but like all the terrible
Also-
shit is pretty much reserved for that.
Yeah, like
this is what the
you know,
this is what the engine in the incident that inspired Down the Mine would look like.
ooh,
Put
Yeah,
it
this
put
is
it on
funky
little
screen.
060.
Put it on screen, Mari. Put it on screen 27 consecutive times.
Yeah, put it in like within the fucking.
I like the look
frame.
of this.
Yeah,
This is a nice little locomotive.
Yeah, the tender's preserved, and I'm pretty sure it's behind. I think it's behind old Copper Knob. Or,
I saw Copper Knob like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh shit! Yeah, because you're at the NRM.
Yeah.
Mean
pretty
Scarlet
cool.
Deceiver, the person who wrote Ex Condor Through the Time Machine, put up a piece on AO3 recently about like Thomas encountering Copper Knob
Oh,
on
that's
his way
so
to
good.
going
I
to
love
Sodor
it
for
so
the first
much.
time, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how that goes. Yeah, they're a good writer.
I'm wrong. It's not the tender isn't behind Copper Knob. It's behind Furnace 20.
Okay.
I think I've seen Furnace
Copper Knob was a
20 as
very,
well
very good
actually.
tender. I'd love to see Furnace 20 someday.
It's I think it's at Butterley, isn't it?
Furnace 20 is like the 240, right?
No,
Or-
it's the 040. It's
Okay.
It's this friend.
I didn't remember the wheel configuration, but I know what you're talking about.
Shit.
It's a funky little guy.
It's this little friend.
You know, I've seen that. I saw that when I went to
Aw.
Butterley.
Huh. That's cool.
He's
Must
got-
have been visiting.
2 wheels.
The Furnace Railway engines are like, they're so charmingly like shit looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Sharp Stewart does to a motherfucker.
Furnace is where Edward is from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'd have built Edward as well.
I think
and over time the Northwestern Railway unsharp stewarded him.
They
And
de-ossified him.
Coincidentally, he became good.
I may be wrong. Is it?
Or indeed, they
is it,
ossified him.
Is it 20 or Copper Knob that's like the oldest preserved standard gauge engine?
20, I think.
Okay.
Can I say something really stupid? Like I always
what's up?
do? I thought the Furnace Railway was a made-up place, and it was just on Sodar before it became like. I was about to say Sodar Railway, the Northwestern Railway.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, I could be shitty to you about that, but at the same time, you're in America and you don't
Yeah.
really know much about railways, so that's not necessarily an unfair assessment.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like part of Sodar.
Well, it's right next to Sodor. It's like literally like a couple of miles away.
Yeah. the Furnace Railway was the Northwestern's next-door neighbor for a while, until they were eaten by the LMS.
Oh, so that's why Edward's on the other side of the bridge in the viaduct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Dan's video.
I love that video because it makes such good use of the island song.
Yeah.
God.
And I love how in like the commentary about it. I don't remember if it was like Dan's commentary or Jake's commentary, but like one of them was like, yeah, we used the island song a lot in this, and Jake hated it because he hates the island song.
Yeah.
But it was good.
What? What video? I forget.
Beginning of the end.
Oh, okay.
The one that leads into the video where Thomas is just, I hear he's a thoroughbred.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, Edward says that.
Cool.
That is such a good bit of like wordplay for railway people. It's so good.
It's phenomenal.
I love it.
I love the horse. I love that the
just
description
Gordon being compared
says,
to a racehorse is so good.
Yeah.
Because it's true. That's just
It
what
is
those
true.
engines are like.
Well, yeah, and the A1s were named after racehorses anyway, so
Yeah.
that's why we
Gordon,
have Gay
bitch.
Crusader and Sandwich.
I forgot about Gay Crusader.
Those are my favorite trains.
Is the Gay Crusader.
There's Gay Crusader, Sandwich, and Papyrus from Undertale.
Was Gay Crusader at Cactus?
Yes. It was oh god. It was season 5, episode 7, Accidents in Sodor, where we get
Why do you
Boko's
know that?
backstory.
Why do you know that?
Why don't I know it?
Because Cactus Lore is fucking lit.
Yeah?
Should we move on to the next page?
Andrew.
Yes. Yes, we can move on to the next page. Thomas could just see out of the hole, but he couldn't move. Oh dear, he said. I am a silly engine. And a very naughty one too, said a voice behind him. I saw you. Please get me out. I won't be naughty again. I'm not so sure, replied the fat controller. We can't lift you out of the crane. The ground's not firm enough. Let me see. I wonder if Gordon could pull you out. Yes, sir, said Thomas nervously. He didn't want to meet Gordon just yet. Down a mine, is he? Ha 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 ha, laughed Gordon.
Why the fuck is the fat controller here?
He just
What?
spawns wherever he's needed.
It's like that one joke in Sus of Sodor where like the fat controller shows up and the characters are like, wow, how do you show up so conveniently?
Guys.
A very funny joke that they make every single time.
What's Sus of Soda? Oh.
Just the O was so good.
I was just
I like
doing
that. I like that we all could have said something just then, but didn't. We let Mari figure it out for herself.
Exactly, it just looks like a train.
No, Mari, you know what it's fucking like? It's the fucking Sailor Moon R clip. Where, like, Chibi Yusa fucking falls over, and she's like, please help me up, and, like, fucking future Mamoru and Usagi are just like, no, fuck off, we hate you.
Oh my god!
If they're old enough to walk, they're old enough to be bullied.
The worst part about that scene is that in the manga it's perfectly in character, because they imply that, like, future Usagi is, like, incredibly, like, negligent of a parent.
Oh my god.
There's this scene where, like, her and Hotaru hug, and she's like, this is so weird, I've never felt this when, like, hugging my parents. It actually feels, like, warm and caring. And it's like, oh wow, there's a lot to unpack there.
You know, I feel like if you make your main character a negligent parent, that might not be very good for making them likable.
It's okay, because miracle romance or something.
It's a pretty common like trend I've been noticing for like second generation stories of like ongoing anime or just stories in general, I guess.
Yeah.
Where like they make the protagonist of the final series from the first series like a shitty parent. I don't like that. That's dumb.
They did
like,
it with Ben
why
10,000.
why the fuck would Avatar fucking Aang be a bad parent?
Yeah.
They did it with Ben 10,000. Ben 10,000's an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that honestly tracks considering what I know about, that era of Ben 10 and what Ben is like in those episodes.
With Sailor Moon, it's just funny because you can tell it was completely unintentional.
Yeah.
Like in the manga, like they're like supposed to be like amazing people.
Yeah.
But
I think the anime writes it more like, oh, she's still just as much of a scatterbrain in the future. Good to know.
Yeah, in the anime it's cute. Like when she comes back and asks with like the letter written by like future Usagi, and they're like, "Oh wow, your handwriting's still just as bad." It's like written in like crayon.
That actually sounds fun. That actually sounds like a genuinely like, she's a good parent, but she's also still an idiot. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I really quite like that.
Same. So
Alright.
anyway, Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas the Train.
Something I'm thinking about right now is like, it is totally karmically justified and narratively justified. Well, not narratively, but it makes sense for Gordon to be coming here to help. But like, I am wondering what the Farquhar branch's route availability actually is, because I mean we were probably going to talk about this in Wrong Road, but like I figure it'd be fine to talk about here. It's like routability as a concept, and how Sodor, it's maybe a bit lackadaisical when it comes to like being consistent with it.
What does that mean?
Okay,
like
so
route availability is basically like a number, like it's showed by a number, but it's like basically the idea of like ranking trains by like how many routes they'll be able to go on without like breaking everything in their path.
okay,
So like
So the 414
you know how in Wrong Road they talk about how like the bridges on the branch lines aren't strong enough to support the big engines?
Yeah, so it's ranking that.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
how heavy
and
is this engine and what level of strength do the tracks and bridges need to be to hold them?
Will they fit through the tunnels? Will they like clip the platforms? Will they be able to make it around tight turns? That kind of thing.
That's in Stop
So
Talk
just kind of like thinking about it, like Gordon in terms of route availability is 9 on BR's scale.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty big number.
It's more than 8, but less than 10.
It's more than 8, which Boko is an 8 for reference. Which makes Wrong Road feel like if Boko can go down Edward's branch, then like Henry certainly can, because Henry is 7.
Yeah.
So like but Henry has a lower route availability than Gordon, because like he's 7 instead of 9. So theoretically, Henry could pull Thomas out just as well, if not better, because he's actually made to have better traction than an express engine.
Henry's pulling the express right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why he's not here. It's because he's pulling the express instead of Gordon.
Pull the express.
This is one of those moments where it's like, if you really wanted to be Railway Realist Brain about it, there's like holes you can poke into it, but like, narrative-wise, who the fuck cares?
I feel like you can excuse it by them just having Gordon go down the branch very slowly.
Very slowly and very carefully.
It's also like it's just the one time, so there's not like it's not like he can do much damage to it.
Yeah.
I'll race you to my flight, Spencer. I'll win.
I'll win.
At the time, the engines available for this are Edward, who's probably busy at Wellsworth, Henry, who's probably pulling the express. I was like, James is like, no one's gonna trust him, and Percy and Toby just won't be able to do it. So like, Gordon is like literally the only option they have.
What a joke! What a joke! He chortled, puffing to the rescue. Boop, boop, boop. Little Thomas, he whistled, we'll have you out in a couple of puffs. Oh. Strong cables were fastened between the two engines. Boop, boop, boop. Are you ready? Heave! Called the Fat Controller. But they didn't pull Thomas out in 2 puffs. Gordon was panting hard and nearly purple before he had dragged Thomas out of the hold and safely past the board. I'm sorry I was cheeky, said Thomas.
I absolutely love in the TV version how much it feels like it's a struggle for Gordon to lift Thomas.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's trying to visually indicate what's being said here about it, it didn't take 2 puffs.
They show don't tell it really well.
Yeah, it's really good.
I like the winch. It's cool looking.
Oh yeah, the winch is cool. I love the winch.
Oh no, our cable! It's broken. Yeah, this is a cool scene.
Yeah.
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 I like the kind of cloudy atmosphere of it.
Yeah. I also really liked how Thomas just kind of like slides back up onto the rails, the way he does. I know earlier I was talking about how much I wish they didn't do this episode in season 1 just because of the pacing, but man, I really love this season 1 episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really
like
no
matter how much some of us begroan choices made by the TV series, some of them more severe than others, I still love it.
Little sleepers
This is
under him.
that's always something I want to try and remember, is that
Yeah.
I'm only like this because I care.
Yeah.
I don't think they acknowledge it, but the illustration makes it look like they put like sleepers under him to pull him out.
I was just gonna bring that up actually.
I can't tell
Oh,
if
yeah,
that's
it
like
does.
an
That's
actual
cool.
sleeper pile or if that's just like the sleepers of the rails. But like either way, it's a nice little detail.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think it's probably a similar thing to Off the Rails, where they kind of just have a road of sleepers there.
Yeah.
Must have been a pain in the
I
ass
guess-
to place all those down though.
I do like that, like, Thomas and Gordon end up having, like, the exact same sort of accident.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It's different situations, but the same outcome.
yeah, they
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
fall
it's a
down
very
something 'cause
very
they're being
nice parallel.
stupid.
Yeah.
For a while I was kind of thinking that maybe it'd be a neat idea to cover the like standalone release Audrey wrote of Thomas and Gordon Off the Rails.
Mhm.
I feel like we shouldn't, because that'd just be a boring retread. But
Yeah.
What is that?
I do like I do like that, Audrey noticed, even like, a few years after the fact, that hey, these stories are like, kind of thematically similar.
Yeah.
I feel like I even realized it in the moment because of what happens in the next page, but it's neat. I like it. This is a good story. I'm running out of words to say.
Looks more like Henry than it does Gordon.
A little bit.
Wait, what?
I don't know if I feel like the bottoms of the eyes would need to be less straight for it to be Henry instead of Gordon.
I mean, like Henry's like happy face is pretty like flat eye bottom, doesn't it?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
It does, yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's Benry. He's it.
Oh my God, he's back! He's back!
we just call everything we see a Benry.
Yeah, that's
Benry.
our brand.
The Benry brand.
The Benry.
The Benry.
So,
That's the name of Audrey's model of Benry.
What's Thomas and Gordon Off the Rails?
Uh,
I've never actually heard of that. Is it just like
was
a
like-
collection of
it
these
was
two
like-
stories, or?
yeah, it's basically just, a standalone release of these two stories combined that was put out, like, as a single release in, like, I think it was 87.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that, it got remade into some, like, My First Thomas books a few years, like, once that became a thing.
That's
I
so
think it was originally illustrated by the
weird.
people that, or the guy that did Thomas and the Hurricane. So
Yeah, fucking
Yeah,
Stephen Lang.
it was terrible.
So we
It's
are
Stephen Lang,
being
so it looks fucking
tormented.
awful.
Yeah, Stephen Ling's, bar none, worst. Well, it's either him or the one that drew Edward Craxenot as the worst artist.
Okay. I
Don't
will
judge
give
Edward
a little
for
bit of...
busting a nut.
I will give a little bit of leeway to I think it was Joe Lawrence that did Edward Craxenot.
Yeah.
Because
That...
she did just go
Edward
directly
Craxenot
off the
and the
Leaves
other ones.
illustration. And
She
kind of
did?
just for gore.
Um,
it still looks like
the
ass.
other stories she did were pretty bad, too.
Yeah.
Like, Oliver Gets the Bird, and,
Why do
what's the other person
why
for
do
the
both
rescue?
of these have titles that you could easily change to be something very different?
Oliver gets the bitch. Oliver gets bitches.
That one you don't even have to change.
bitches.
It's just someone
Oh.
ends up flipping off Oliver.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, Toad,
No bird?
someone flipped me the bird today. Beg your pardon, Mr. Oliver, but you are a bit of a bitch.
And it'd be the most
I think it
interesting
was well
thing that
deserved.
Oliver has ever been in. I mean, what?
Not true. Tone deaf
Not
is very
Not
good.
incorrect.
Official
Yeah,
thing.
tone deaf.
Official thing.
Incorrect.
His book.
Escape.
That too.
Also the season 5
Steve is
episodes.
escaping. Yoo-hoo!
Oliver's been in a lot of interesting things. You're being mean. Why would you be mean
Don't
to
be
Oliver,
mean.
this very real train who's not just a fictional
I
character?
kinda am. I'm gonna be completely honest.
You know,
I'm
I'm
not
something of a
talking
fictional
about it
character
in
myself.
full till next episode, but like, I kind of had a realization while I was doing like my notes, and my brain hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
That's all right, Thomas. You made me laugh. I like that.
I'm in disgrace, Gordon went on pathetically.
I feel very low.
I'm in disgrace too, said Thomas.
Why, so you are, Thomas. We're both in disgrace. Shall we form an alliance?
An ally, what was it?
An alliance, Thomas. United we stand, together we fall,
said Gordon grandly.
You help me, and I help you. How about it?
Right you are, said Thomas.
Good. That's settled, rumbled Gordon.
And buffer to buffer the allies puffed home.
This is probably my favorite scene in the whole book. Really like
really
it.
Oh yeah,
good.
this is the best no questions. This
No
is the best
contest.
part.
They remove a couple things in the TV series version that I don't really like. Like, they remove Gordon, like, admitting, like, that he feels shitty about it all.
Yeah.
And they also
Yeah.
remove, like, the, like, Allie who, what was it? Which
Thomas
is...
not quite getting what an alliance is. I get
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
for, like, the runtime of the episode, but also, like...
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I love in the Morris narration that Thomas mispronounces alliance. It's very cute.
Aw.
But also just this is so cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Thomas, like, I feel like this episode, God, the more I'm actually going through this episode, the more I realize I really like this being part of season 1. God fucking damn it.
Jamie, you've
It's
become
just
the very
it's such a
thing you
good
sought to
bookend
destroy.
for season 1.
Yeah.
You know, like it starts with Thomas and Gordon being at each other's throats because, you know, Thomas is a cheeky little shit and Gordon's a pompous little shit. But now the two are actually, like, you know, being respectful and, like,
Yeah.
promising to, you know, be cool with each other. And that's really cool. I love that. And, like, it's a pretty and in the Railway series, at least, this is a really consistent development. Like, they don't have any more paired stories together after this, so it doesn't matter that much. But, you know, like, after this point, they are so much more respectful with each other. It's not at all like it used to be, and I like that. That's really cool. I love this.
Yeah.
I like that Gordon is, like, immediately, like, not shitty about it after he, like, has a bit of a laugh about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I feel like that's totally in character for Gordon, and shows how much he's grown throughout this whole kind of thing, even if we haven't seen much of that growth on screen, because, like, I mean, there's only really so much you can do in the space of 4 short stories, but, like,
Yeah.
you know, just kind of watching this and the last story, it's like, you know, you can tell, like, even when Gordon has the easiest pickings imaginable, you know, he's just realized that, you know, he's in the same boat as they are, really, so there's no point in, you know, trying to act like he's so high and mighty.
They did the exact same shit.
Yeah.
I really like the inclusion of the, oh, it's alright, you made me laugh, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really love that.
That's
makes,
really good.
That makes it so much more, like, it makes it so much nicer, I think, in, like,
Yeah.
You needed
very...
it.
I also like that when Thomas says he's in disgrace as well, Gordon's not shitty about that either. He's just like, oh yeah, I guess you are.
Yeah, he is just like, oh shit, so you are. Huh. We're both like that, aren't we? Isn't that
Would
great?
you like to go to McDonald's, Thomas?
I'll take you to McDonald's.
Obviously, I'm
And
not
buffer
saying...
to buffer, the friends puff to McDonald's.
God. Isn't that the plot to a fucking Moab episode?
Probably.
Thomas, we need to go
Probably.
to Mackie.
Thomas, we need to go to McDonald's.
Okay, Gordon.
and then in the back, Nigel's like, bring me some nuggets.
I would
Bring
like
me
to have some
chicken
nuggets. 20
I would like chicken
McNugget.
nuggets.
Something sheep.
What sheep?
I don't think
I
so,
forgot
pussy.
what the fuck I was saying.
Ooh.
I'm gonna kill everyone.
This is a good ending. I already mentioned it earlier, but I also really like the ending shot of them puffing away in the episode where they're like,
Yeah, it's really
the
nice.
camera's peering through the mine shaft, and you can see the
It's
Fat
so-
Controller going back to his car.
It's so nicely
Like that-
framed.
That would
I
be
love
such
it.
a good. I wish we could get like. I wish we could get like a CGI version of that scene, just like, you know, like just that animated of like, you know, Fat Controller going like that'd be such a good.
Did we
is
talk
a
about
good
when the
episode.
shadow moves across the tank?
Oh, that's so good too. That's like when the Fat Controller first appears in that episode.
Yes! Oh my god, yes. I forgot about that. Yeah, no, that's so... I love that. I find that really funny. I'll be honest, I find it really funny. It's really cool, but it's really funny that he just slides up.
Hello.
Hello.
I also like on this page. I really like the kind of changing colors in the sky of like where
Yes.
like the sun is setting in the
Yes.
background.
I find that really pretty. Also, the way Dabby paints the sea. I
He's a
say
really
this
nice-
every episode. He's better at landscapes than he is engines.
Oh, no, he's a great landscape artist. He's just terrible at drawing the characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a dumb thing, but I feel like the lighting is something that, like, a lot of stuff would do, like, deliberately for a scene like this, if that makes sense. Like, how it's the sun is setting on...
Oh my god, I
There.
just realized.
Yeah.
I just fucking realized they recreate this shot in Paint Pots and Queens with the sun setting.
Oh,
Yeah.
they do.
It's just a different angle, because it's like from the angle of, like, you know, from the coast towards the, like, you know, track instead of like from the track to the coast. I never fucking realized that before. That's so fucking good. I love that shot.
We're
That
getting
is
a bit
honestly
ahead,
such a
but
fire shot.
I actually really love Paint Pots and Queens in the TV series starting, like, right where this left off, like, with them like, continuing going home together. It's nice.
Yeah, it's so cool. Man. I'm really thinking a lot now about what you said at the beginning of the episode about, like, you know, Paint Pots and Queens as, like, you know, like, kind of like with the same Season 4, like, mentality of, like, you know, the continuity hook staying in place with, like, that scene at the beginning.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, at the beginning of Season 2 instead. God. Do we want to move on to rankings?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I think we're, you know, I love this. I was originally going to give the story a Toby, and my reasoning, like, at the time when I was writing notes was that, it's an iconic and beloved story, and it's good, but it felt less relevant to the arc than the last, felt less relevant to the arc than the last story.
Less relevant.
Honestly, I don't think I agree with this being, less relevant to the arc than the last story anymore. I feel like, given what we've talked about in this episode about, like, the kind of parallel circumstances between Gordon and Thomas in both Off the Rails and Down the Mine, I feel like this might be more relevant than the last story.
I agree.
Not to say that Leaves is... That's not saying Leaves is bad or anything. I still
Yeah.
love it and think it, is also very good in showing the positive development of Gordon in this situation. But, it's good. I like the story a whole lot more now, especially the TV version. Like, I was coming into this prepared to be like, Down the Mine Season 1, like, it's cool, but, like, they really shouldn't have done it in Season 1. But now, I'm glad that it exists. I love it.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna give the story a duck instead of a Toby.
Valid. I'm a duck as well. I've already said it, but, like, I really love the idea of this storyline in general. I feel like the only thing that brings this down at all, and that it's not counting my ranking at all or anything, is the fact that there's only like one scene in the next story that actually follows this up, I guess. At least in the book version.
That's something I take into account in the next story instead of this one.
Yeah, no, I'm not knocking it with this one though, because I really like it. The ending scene especially is just really cute. It's weird, and, like, it definitely isn't intentional. Like, I doubt, like, it actually inspired anything, but, like, it weirdly reminds me a lot of, like, some of their scenes in Go together. If that makes
How dare
any
you bring
sense.
up Old Engines Go, cringe.
It helps the scale. It helps the scaling literally looks like Go, which, like, I don't mind. Like, I think, like...
I don't necessarily
think, like,
mind the idea of Gordon being really big compared to Thomas and Percy.
Yeah, like, I think, like, in this...
when
especially
Diesel's
in
the
this
same
image,
size as them, that's where I get a little,
I'm not even really talking about Go. I just mean, like, in this illustration, I really like that, like, it kind of, like, emphasizes, like, how different they are when they're talking about how similar they are, and, like,
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's a really good story. It's my favorite one in the book.
Yeah.
V,
Oh, wait, it's my
that's
go.
where you go.
Yes.
It's my go. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's my go.
I'm sorry. I like it. It's good. I like Thomas. I like Gordon. I really like some of the interactions in this, particularly on the first and last page. I like the featuring of Push-Pull Thomas. I like the weird truck in the TV series version, which has the lowered buffer beam. I think that's very neat. I like him. I guess I like play like a duck. I'd say a duck.
I will give this a Donald.
Holy fuck.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Big number.
Big fucking number. I think this is one of the most iconic Thomas stories just of all time. Maybe not the best one, but I think even disregarding the entire arc of the book, like, on its own, it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
because
a reason
you
they
get
picked
the parallels
this
between
for the
Gordon and
pilot.
Thomas and resolve them really. Yeah, no, I agree completely because it is just that good.
It also only had 2 characters, but yeah, it
Yeah,
also
pretty much.
Still, though, it's like
3 if you count
I
Sir
mean-
Dad.
you could say like an episode like Toby and the Stout Gentleman has 1 character, but like obviously you're not gonna pick that as the first one.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like it does a perfect job of showing what the series is.
Yeah.
I love Toby and the Sad Gentleman so much. I know we loved that
Toby
story
and
when we
Sad
got to
Gentleman
it,
was
but
pretty
like,
great.
God, Toby and the Sad Gentleman's so good.
I love it.
It's so good. I'm glad we're doing this podcast again. It's so fun.
Yeah,
I love
miss
reading
doing
the stories.
this.
I love talking to y'all. It's
Hell yeah.
good to be back.
Oh,
And we'll
It's good to be back.
wait. I forgot. Speaking of being back, one of the things with Leaves was because peek behind the curtain, we had recorded that before like this whole kind of break thing happened. I had to edit out a lot about Bachman, including
Oh no.
Jamie has been wanting to talk about Bachman
specifically
this entire
being
recording.
fucked if there was a specific announcement. And also a lot of diesel tangents that surround it.
Jamie has been wanting
So,
to talk about Bachman this
okay.
entire recording session, but we haven't been able to find a way to work it in.
Okay, fine. We'll spend like 10 minutes at the end. Hopefully not 10 minutes talking about this.
No, we need to spend at least 20 minutes if we want to get back on brand and back into the swing of things.
Okay. So, to address the emerald elephant in the room. I've already gone through the 5 stages of grief when it comes to N-Scale Emily. So, I do not feel nearly so, butthurt about her being announced instead of Gordon. I still feel like Gordon would have been better for the longevity of the brand, because, like, now, obviously, since they're doing an engine as, like, complicated as Emily, they're gonna want to do Diesel and Paxton next. And then, that's probably not gonna be great for sales. Well, actually, it probably will be okay for sales, because, like, Diesel and Paxton will sell really well, because 009 people want those chassis more than they want the actual N-Scale Thomas line.
Yeah.
But, you know...
It doesn't do anything to make the line stick out or seem unique.
Yeah, because then it's basically just gonna be G-Scale 2, but there's no Winston. Like, it'll be more affordable than G-Scale, and it'll look better than HO.
Winston.
But
That'd be brilliant.
that would be
I
fucked
wonder
up.
if they'll do it.
I don't think it's physically possible to do Winston unless they, like, make him an unmotorized little plastic piece.
We need
Yeah, I
to
guess
do.
you would
We
need
need to
ridiculously
get
tiny.
like. We need to get an official
What?
version of the custom Winston that shows up in Merry Christmas Thomas the Tank Engine.
They probably could do Winston, because there's, like Z-scale engines and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like a square, so it's probably pretty easy to power him.
But yeah. And scale, it's probably going to be at least, like, 2 or 3 years before Gordon is announced, let alone released. Emily's probably not going to release for another few years, because, like, James is taking for fucking ever. Diesel and Paxton might come out a bit quicker, if only because, like, they'll probably come out at the same time. Probably be developed simultaneously, but only announced
Come
Diesel
out,
at first.
Paxton. I'm good.
So am
Hooray,
I.
Paxton,
That's not what we're
hooray.
talking about.
We are
suppose
homosexual.
You were right to tell me, Paxton! I would also like N-Scale... that is also a fair point. I do really want N-Scale Paxton, so to an extent, I'm glad that that's probably going to be what happens, but to another extent, I feel like people aren't really going to start hopping on board N-Scale until we get, like, after Paxton, and they maybe decide to do Gordon, if they do it all. Because, like, fucking, what if they just decide, nah, we're good. We'll only do these 6 that are in G-Scale, that's fine. Fuck Gordon.
It seems like
That would be dumb. That'd be
it seems
so
like
dumb,
Diesel
and it'd be
and
because,
Paxton-
and it'd only be like that because I did Emily first, and like I get doing Emily first because Emily's popular, she sells, but like
It was a weird
N-Scale Gordon
choice.
is something that literally everyone wants. Like,
The thing with Diesel and Paxton is, like, they seem like kind of like the Hail Mary for G-Scale, like they were like the last chance for the line sticking around.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
and I feel like they do well in N-Scale because 009 people love the like Graham Farish 08 chassis, they wouldn't be running on that chassis because it wouldn't be like the right fit for them. But it'd be something like that 009 modelers could also use, and maybe wouldn't even be that expensive because even at the highway robbery prices Bachmann make their stuff for, it's still cheaper than actual model trains.
What were you gonna say, Mari?
I was gonna say this earlier. How do you feel about the rumor that kind of started going around today? Because I think there was an image from some stream or something with like a Bachmann head or a promotional video or something, and there's a bunch of like the new products up or like stuff related to them, but then there's also like Edward, and people are theorizing that might mean he's like kind of being considered next for G or N specifically.
See, that would make sense.
I don't know about
also
N,
like...
if only because I feel like Edward is probably... I think Edward's gonna make it to G scale before N scale right now, because like N...
Yeah.
Everyone in the forums really wants Edward and N scale because everyone is like, oh, well, he's like around the same size as James, so maybe that'd work out. But like,
Yeah.
Edward... I feel like Edward's also probably expensive to make, because, like, he's, he is around the same size as James, but he's also, like, got a weird, like, because of his TV series model being weirdly proportioned in terms of, like, weight distribution and wheel, like, sizing or whatever, he's probably a bit more complicated to make. Like, they sell him for the same price they would sell Edward and Henry. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's small.
But yeah, I feel like Edward being next in G would make sense.
Yeah, I absolutely think G is
Yeah.
more likely than N. I guess I was saying, like, hypothetically, if he was the next one.
Oh yeah.
What
Also
would
I
your
feel
thoughts
like
be?
I see Emily's also in this image. I mean, it's probably because of N-scale Emily, but I wouldn't doubt that at some point they're just gonna re-release Emily and with her number 12 as a separate item, the same way they did with Grumpy Diesel and Red Rosie.
Emily and Edward are also on perfectly opposite each other, and Edward is next to N-scale Thomas and James and Toby, who's probably there because Toby is
Yeah.
being made in N.
Why is regular
I-
Reyes there?
Because Yellow Reneus.
Well, they've got both regular Renius and yellow Renius there, I think.
Yeah. God, I can't wait for N-scale James. I need it. I need it very badly. I need my tiny little boy.
Are you going to enjoy looking who's coming down the track and being able to make way for James?
There's
Make way for
James.
Has anyone
Yes,
actually...
actually.
Has anyone actually found Bachman Daisy yet? Like,
Not yet. I think it's either waiting to be shipped or like on the ocean.
yeah, it's
Same
probably
with
in
James right now.
it's
Like
probably in shipping
they're ready
now.
to go. They're just waiting to be shipped because we
Yeah.
live in a nightmare hellscape and shipping is impossible right now.
Yep.
Not impossible, but like, basically.
Nah, impossible.
Well, Bachman's products may be more delayed than usual, but hopefully the next episode won't be.
Yeah.
Hopefully the next episode won't be, because next time we're going to talk about Paint Pots and Queens, baby! Woo! Also, we didn't talk about any of the new HO or G stuff, but like,
They're bringing
that's not what we're
Salty
here.
back.
Matter.
We, why do we want to talk? Like, they're bringing
Salty's
Salty
got
back.
a tramp stamp now.
I already
Yeah,
know.
he and
his wheels.
Origins James match. Love wins.
Love wins.
God, people are talking about like, oh, this is a new low for Bachmann. It's gonna be like that on every model. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure, the only reason that Salty and James have the lamp stamps is because they wanted to put lamps on there, but didn't want to like change the tooling to like insert a separately fitted lamp.
Yeah.
So they were just like, let's just put a sticker there. That's fine.
It took
Yeah.
like
And then,
it took like 3 years for them to actually update the paint on James from when they said they were going to.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, I was gonna say I feel like. I think... Why do I keep saying I feel like? That's a weird verbal tick.
I don't know.
Fucking, you know, maybe one day they'll update, like, Edward or whatever to have that on the back, and that'd be dumb. I don't want that, but, like, I don't think we have to worry about, like, Ryan having a lampstand instead of a separately fitted lamp, because, like,
Yeah.
since he's actually a new tooling, they would, you know, think to do that right out
Yeah.
the gate.
God, I
is
hope
just
Ryan
mold,
is good.
you know, either mold a lamp or separately fit one.
I hope Ryan is good so bad.
It's definitely.
I hope so too. I don't see any reason to doubt why he would be. Like, he's
Yeah.
very expensive, and I'm pretty sure the only
on
reason he's
Twitter
that
love to
expensive is
complain.
because they're accounting for all the separately fitted details that he has.
What's up, Murray?
I said people on Twitter love to complain, and I was gonna say, yeah,
Oh,
I agree that they probably only did it because it's like Black James is a variant and Salty is a re-release that like they're probably using all the same stuff for.
Yeah.
I genuinely love that. I'm very sad now that this is gonna be the end of the build your own salty.
I think that already became impossible because I think some of the parts sold out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm very glad that I managed to pick up Bachman Salty before the new one came out, just because, like, you know, I was on board. Like, you know, the unpainted wheels is weird, but I could have been fine with it if the rods weren't also, like, given the same chemical bath treatment. Now it looks weird. You know, just darkened wheels and normal rods I think would have been fine.
Yeah.
I'm less fine. Like, the lamp stamp just ruins it. Everything else I could have lived with. The lamp stamp ruins it. I'm sorry. I hope they stop doing that. I hope they listen to us and stop doing that. Like, we would anyone who models trains would much rather have, like, you know, no lamp than a lamp sticker, because, like, the lamp sticker is a much bigger hassle to remove than adding a
Exactly.
lamp. So, yeah.
I guess theoretically you
I
could
feel
just
like
put a lamp
I feel
over
like
it.
they're trying. I feel like they're compromising with nobody by adding the lamp. They're just adding a caveat that will make people not want to buy the models.
Can we wrap up?
Does B.
I
James
have to
have the
get
lamp?
going.
No.
Okay, bye-bye, Murray.
I'm also.
Okay,
gonna
yeah, we
do
should
that.
probably just end the episode.
Yeah,
no,
We're
that's what I was
going over.
saying.
Goodbye, everybody.
Everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.